ECAST. Here are three 3-minute takes on the NFL season we're going to be looking at today. Take 1. The Steelers sucked, and it's not because of Le'Veon Bell. The Steelers missed out on the playoffs in brutal fashion this year after Baker Mayfield shot their hopes with a late-game pick against the Ravens. But if you look at their roster, they should have never been this close to missing the playoffs in the first place, right? Wrong. The Steelers are put on a pedestal by many because of their flashy run-and-gun, high-powered offense led by the triple Bs, as they call them, Big Ben, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon. Oh wait, how would the Steelers deal with the loss of Le'Veon Bell? That proved to be nothing more than an annoyance, as James Conner put up better stats than Bell had in the year prior and made Le'Veon Bell's absence seem almost completely irrelevant. So if they solved that problem, they should have been just as good as they were last year, right? Wrong. Another player they are without this year who is flying relatively under the radar is Ryan Shazier. A linebacker forced turnovers, was decisive against the run, and crucial in zone and man coverage. That's not a good loss to start off with, but that's not even the biggest problem. The Steelers are famous for their zone scheme, but without playmakers they had in the past, they end up getting a little spread out. Their defenders widen so much that they have to almost play it like a man-to-man. Speed receivers are running by those impromptu man defenders, and the Steelers are getting put up more points than they have in the past 5 years. To make matters worse, the Steelers' D-line, which has been a calling card for many in many recent years, hasn't been much help either. They moved TJ Watt to left edge and Bud Dupree to right, which seemed sensible at the time. However, it has led neither player to be an every down force. Pittsburgh's uniquely athletic defensive linemen Cameron Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, and Javon Hargrave have also been quiet. The Steelers have forced the eighth least amount of sacks, matter of fact, in the NFL this year, and not only that, but they are forcing the least turnovers they have in the Mike Tomlin era. Essentially, the Steelers cannot stop anyone this year. They can't force any turnovers. They can't get any sacks. And they straight up sucked in 2018, and it was because of their defense. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, let's get straight into take number 2. On a little more positive note, well, a more positive note for some. Take 2 is, the Patriots will probably go to the Super Bowl again. I know this doesn't seem like the craziest take in the world if you look at the past 10 years. The Patriots going to the NFC Championships and Super Bowls like it's nothing. But there have been a lot of red flags many have seen with the Patriots this year. Some of them are as follows. Everybody is screaming, Brady on the decline. Their defense just won't cut it. Gronk is washed. Josh McDaniels' offense is stagnant, etc., etc. And here's why none of that matters. For one, they have a top 2 coach of all time and a top 2 quarterback of all time. I say that because as a Niners fan, Bill Walsh and Joe Montana come first. Anyways, the numbers don't lie. They come to life in the playoffs. Their offense elevates extremely and their defense elevates as well. Their offense hasn't been what it has been in years prior during the regular season, but they still managed to go 10-5 and put up the 8th most points in the NFL with players like Edelman, Gronk, and Burkhead all missing time. So, that's still pretty impressive. And if you think Belichick and Brady won't put their best show on come playoff time, you're in for a real treat. Secondly, they're not going up against anything they can't handle. Sure, the AFC is packing the dreaded Chiefs, who, by the way, play absolutely no defense. But who else can stop them? The Colts? Okay, a nice comeback story. But with that defense, against Brady and Belichick? No. The Texans. In my opinion, they are straight up the most overrated team in the NFL. They have a good record, but if you look at who they beat, they do not have one impressive win. Deshaun Watson is good, but he's declined a little bit from last year, and this team just has no chance to take down the Patriots. I'm sorry. The Ravens. Nice defense. Really nice defense. There is no chance Lamar Jackson, as a rookie, takes down Tom Brady. End of story. The Chargers. They never come to play in the playoffs. I don't care what you say, no matter what they do in the regular season, it never turns into anything. That's a pretty easy road if you really break it down and look at teams one by one. I mean, I would take playoff Patriots over any of those teams any day of the week. Take 3, the third and final take and the biggest take yet. Mitchell Trubisky is no better than Nick Mullins. No, that's not crazy. That is not a crazy take. You two will realize that by the time I'm done. I mean, here's the thing. I believe if Nick Mullins was given extra chances and respect Mitchell Trubisky got only because he was a number 1 pick, Mullins would do a lot more with it. And I got proof. Trubisky was straight up awful his rookie year and showed close to no signs of any potential. On the contrary, Nick Mullins was thrown into an injured and depleted Niner team and has actually looked good and showed many positive flashes within a complicated offense. If Mullins played like Trubisky did his rookie year, he would be out of the league, and that is ridiculous because it only depends on where he was drafted. Here's some straight up stats that cannot be argued with. Nick Mullins' career completion percentage, 64.2. Trubisky, 63.5. Career passer rating, Mullins, 90.8. Trubisky, 87.7. If you compare just their rookie years, it's not even close between Mullins and Trubisky. As Trubisky's completion percentage drops down to 58% and his passer rating all the way down to a disgusting 77.7. By the numbers, there's no arguing that Mullins is a better quarterback, and not only that, he's playing for a much worse team, and not only that, he has a much better work ethic. So if you really think about it, this take is not very outlandish. The only reason it seems that way is because of biases on where players were drafted that play such a big role in how we look at them. Players should be analyzed on their play alone, and Nick Mullins versus Trubisky is an example of why that should be the case. Okay, I just want to thank you guys for spending your time with me today here on the ECAST. Later this week, we'll be back with another episode, and we're going to be looking at how Philip Lindsay became the first undrafted rookie to make the Pro Bowl and his incredible story. That's it for now. Thank you for joining me. Peace.